I didn't plan to become a widow at the age of 33. I had no plans on losing my husband, my marriage, and my sense of certainty all at one time. And I definitely didn't plan to rebuild my life. But here I am. This is the Fly Black Widow podcast. The most life changing loves rarely announce themselves, they begin like ordinary moments. Welcome to episode 2 of the Fly Black Widow podcast. Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Fly Black Widow podcast. I'm Cecily Coleman, and today's episode is a little bit emotional for me, but um, I wanted to talk to you all and put it out there about what it's like when love finds you. You're not necessarily searching for it, but it finds its way into your space and into your heart at times when you're just not ready for it. And for me, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. So let me take you back. New Orleans, 1999. What New Orleans meant for me at that time was poetry sets on Tchoupitoulas and coffee shops on Magazine Street, step shows at Xavier and Dillard and my alma mater, Southern at New Orleans. It meant the French Quarter and the riverfront. It meant Mardi Gras. It meant good food, good vibes, good people in a city that was on fire during the summer with Essence Festival. Tons of Black people just gathering and enjoying Frankie Beverly and Maze on their final night. And there were definitely happy feelings in the air, right? That's New Orleans. And it's hot during the summer times. It's hot, it's muggy, like you literally can step outside and don't think about having natural hair because it would frizz up like that as soon as you walk out the door. But your skin can get sticky during with the humidity. But it is such a vibe to be in New Orleans, and it's a beautiful thing to be a New Orleans native. And for me at that time, 1999, right after graduating from college, it seemed a bit dismal. So let me take you back a little bit more. And without going into too much, relationship wise, I was not at my best. I was in a very tumultuous situation for a couple of years while I was in college. And only by the grace of God did things click for me to get out of it. Yeah, I was physically and verbally and mentally abusing. And when I finally pulled myself out of that situation, because it was only me that was going to be able to do it, it took a little bit of time, but I got involved with someone else shortly after. And reason being, now that I think about it and I realized why I jumped into that, was because it gave me a sense of you still matter, you're still important, you can still be loved. At least that's what I thought. But it was a situation that did not turn out well. But it was also a situation that showed me how grown up I'd become. So you see, I became involved with that person during the spring of my, yeah, the spring of my junior year of college. Um, and I got pregnant. I got pregnant. I found out I was having a little baby. Yeah, that yeah, the January 99. I'm sorry, January 98. I found out I was having a baby. Um, and the day that I told this person I was having a baby, that I, was pregnant, he walked out. He basically said, "You need to figure out how this is going to work into your life." I remember his words exactly. "You need to figure out how you're going to work this into your life, because it's always been about me and it's going to always be about me." So he packed his little raggedy rice cooker and whatever he had at my house, and he walked out. I never bothered him. It was just like, "Okay, it's me and my baby." And here's the thing about that, because of those 2 situations, I definitely felt like I was worthless. Like, is this gonna continue to keep happening? Am I gonna continue to keep choosing wrong? Especially now that I have this child that's coming, but what I realized is it was love that I needed, not anything pretentious, not anything that was gonna hurt or harm me, not anyone that was gonna take advantage of me, and so I felt like having my baby was my end game. Like, I'm gonna have this child, and I'm gonna rear this child, and I'm gonna parent this child, and I'm gonna do it on my own, and, she's gonna love me forever. I found out it was a girl, and I was like, "She's gonna love me forever," and this is the love that I needed because I felt like if I loved my child enough, my child was gonna love me more than what I needed, and those, um we would be what we needed for each other, and I know I needed my child because that's an unwavering love that I never had to question, and I was gonna do whatever it is that I needed to do in order to take care of my child. And so I had her in October of 1998. The following semester, um, I took 21 hours, full time student, and got permission to take 21 hours because I was like, it's time to woman up. It's time to graduate. Um, you got a kid to take care of, and you have a career that you need to build so that you can take care of your child. So I had that long conversation to myself. And I took those 21 hours and I worked full time at the same time. And I graduated the spring of 1999. Now, as a journalism major at SUNO, Southern at New Orleans, we didn't have very many options back then. I wanted to be a reporter, print reporter. I wanted to work for the Wall Street Journal. However, things didn't go that way. That's a whole nother podcast for a whole nother time, but things didn't go that way. But what I did do, my second favorite love was English. Writing has always been a passion of mine. And I minored in English. So I majored in print journalism and I minored in English. So I decided I was going to go and teach English. I was going to be a part of the school system and try to become um, what my high school English teacher and what my college professor were to me. So I made the decision to go into the school system that fall. So in betwixt and in between graduation and getting ready to start a career and taking care of my daughter, I was still working, but I was working at Vision Plaza in the mall full time, taking care of my kid. And it was just really about me and her at that moment. But also my mindset was like, I don't want to be bothered anymore. It's just me and my child. She needs me. I need her. I don't want to deal with anyone. It's just been bad experiences since then. And I did notice that my demeanor had changed. I didn't get so much hardened, but what I did realize, and I realize now that it was almost, I just don't care. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want anybody to bother me. If anybody tries to bother me, they're going to get shot down immediately. I ain't searching for anybody. I'm not looking for anybody because at that point, every single man in my life had disappointed me. So I just was not in that headspace anymore. So here comes July 1st, 1999. And I remember specifically, I was at work, getting ready to log off, get ready to get out. And one of my friends called, like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "You know what I'm doing? I'm about to go pick up my daughter. I'm going back to my place. We'll grab something to eat. We're going to dive under the covers, watch some TV, and that's pretty much it." At this time, my daughter is 9 months old. And so Got another friend on the phone. They got me on three-way, like, "You've been stuck either in the house or at work and taking care of the baby all this time. You need to have some fun." And I was like, "First of all, I'm not going anywhere because the city is too congested with all the Essence Fest goers, and I just don't feel like it." I just didn't feel like it. I just wanted to chill at home and not so much wallow, but I just was not in the mood. Just wasn't in the mood. So they were like, "No, you coming out. Go find something in your closet to wear. We gonna come pick you up. Go ahead and get the baby secured, but you are going out." I surrendered. Like, okay, cool. I'll drive because when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. And they're like, "Nope, we picking you up." Okay, I will go. I will go. So I did. I got the baby secured. Got home, got ready, and actually went out on the town with two of my friends. So we wound up at a welcome to Essence party at Club Whispers. And if you're from New Orleans, back in the day, you knew all about Whispers. That was where we went on Friday nights, sometimes Saturday nights. It was the place, it was one of the places to be in the East. And so we went to Whispers for the welcome to Essence party. And that's where love found me. So let me tell you how. So we get to Whispers, roam around a little bit, got a drink. I just remember everything like it was yesterday. Roamed around, got a drink, and one of my friends and I, because I was there with a guy and a girl, went to high school with, two of my best friends at the time. Um, so my guy went roaming around, and me and my girlfriend were like standing at the near the dance floor towards the left side. Remember, toward the left side. Um, and we was just kind of joking around, or what have you, for a while. And then it's like, you know how in the movies when someone catches your eye and the world stops, or it's either in like slow motion or it just stops. That is literally what happened. So as I'm standing on the side with my friend and I look over, I glance over, me and this guy caught eyes and locked in, like literally locked in. And I couldn't see anything outside of him while he was standing on that dance floor. Everything stopped. Nobody moved but him. And it was the strangest thing for me. Because, mind you, again, I'm at that mindset like, I'm not trying to be bothered. I don't care who you are, what you do. I wasn't in that space, but we locked eyes and something happened. I tried to play it off as much as I possibly could. And he was dancing with a woman. I remember he was dancing with a woman at the time. And he actually stopped and he came over to me and reached out his hand and said, "Do you want to dance?" And me with my sassy self said, "Nope, you already dancing with somebody." Because then in my head, I'm like, okay, you just left this lady on the dance floor to come and ask me to dance. What I look like. Um, but I was still very, very, very intrigued. I was being polite to her, but I was still very, very, very intrigued. What I remember after that, my friend and I, we walked around a little bit. That man came and found me in that huge crowd because there were so many people in that space at that time. He came and found me and he grabbed my hand and we literally talked for the rest of the night. I learned a good bit about him. He learned a good bit about me. I explained, first of all, I have a daughter. Yes, I have a 9-month-old daughter. I told him I was planning on becoming an English teacher. Um, you know, just graduated from college. I told him I was a Delta, part of D9. Um, and then he told me about himself as we were conversing. Member of Kappa Alpha Psi. He went to FAMU. He had one daughter. He was also a teacher, an elementary teacher at this really prestigious private school down in Tampa, Florida. So he was from Tampa. He was not a local. He was actually visiting Essence for the very first time, and this was his first time in New Orleans. But he was set to come to New Orleans to meet up with someone that he was affiliated with back at FAM. I guess they had planned on reconnecting, and this young lady was also my namesake, which I found very, very strange and odd. But he told me what her name was, and I was thrown aback. Like, wow, no one really has my name, at least that I knew of. No one has the name Cecily, but let's go for it. Okay, fine. And he kind of saw that as a sign, like maybe I was sent to meet you instead of her. Maybe I was meant to meet a Cecily, but I can tell you now, um, I'm not gonna meet up with her. I want to continue having this conversation with you. And you, if you know me, this is my face. I call BS, but okay, buddy. But still intrigued at the same time. And we literally just talked the night away at that place. And the last thing I remember from that night, I kind of disappeared with him. He took my hand and we went to another side of the club and he introduced me to his friends and he said, hey y'all, I want y'all to meet my wife. And they all looking crazy and so am I, like, no, I'm not, but it's nice to meet y'all, but I'm nowhere near near that headspace. I just met this man, but I guess foreshadowing, and that is the beginning of how he and I met. We exchanged beeper numbers. No cell phones at that time. It was 99. So we exchanged beeper numbers and he told me he would call. I told him I was not going to reach out. If he wanted to talk, he would reach out to me. And so the next day I went to work and he beeped me. I called the number back and we had more conversation. And that is the beginning of my love story on how I met my husband. So, next episode, I will share with you how the relationship actually developed after he and I met that night. Again, it was long distance. He lived in Florida. I lived in New Orleans. I had my daughter, so it wasn't always easy for me to travel, but we made it work. So, just want to talk about what that was like, and actually visiting Tampa for the first time and him coming to New Orleans again and back and forth that we did between that time and when we decided that we were a couple. So tune in for episode 3 coming soon. Please know that love is real and love is really not to be played with, but sometimes it will find you in the least expected moment when you are not prepared, when you're not ready to actually receive it, but it has no, it doesn't discriminate and it doesn't care how you're actually feeling because when it's love and it's going to find its way to you. It's just a matter of how you handle it when it does. So I will see you all next on episode 3. We are now streaming on Spotify, YouTube, and now Apple. And as a companion to the Fly Black Widow podcast, I have prepared a, it's making me smile because it came out so well, but I prepared a playlist on Spotify of the different songs that kind of pinpoint where I was at that moment in 1999. And it also dives into what was developed between him and I as we started to date. So check that playlist out when you can, stream it when you can. Please like and share. And I hope you all are enjoying where this series is going. So thank you again, and I will see you soon.